What is happening, folks? Welcome to another episode, 9 Nerd Yards. We are back with our Dave reaction and breakdowns, Season 1, Episode 5 and 6, Hype Man and Talent Shows. Let's kick off the panels. As you can see, one of us is missing. 9 is feeling a little under the weather, so we're here covering for him. So if everybody wants to show him love in the comments, just go ahead, get well soon, 9. Put it right in the comments, and we'll blast it off for you. Yeah, dog. What's happening? Well, you know him, you love him. Straight out of the mean streets, Denver, Colorado. Our producer's still with us. It's producer Terry. Producer Terry, what's going on, man?
What is up, everybody? And for our Dave fans, today is contest day because I won't be here next Thursday. Do you know why I won't be here next Thursday?
Why won't you be here next Thursday?
He's touring with Meek Mill.
Istanbul.
What up?
So, type in the comments at any part of during the show. Bring me something back. First person to do it, I'm gonna bring you something back. And it's from Istanbul, and they got all kinds of shit.
What the fuck's my?
Yeah. We all
up,
about to write.
YouTube?
Bring me something back.
BTM Bino, you got to jump on things, man.
There is nobody here right now.
Nobody.
Hop on it. And you know him, you love him. Mean streets of Austin, Texas. It's Gata, aka Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, man?
It's Gata, Gata, Goda.
Gata.
Yeah. How's it going, guys? Good to see you, everyone again.
Good to see you too, man. And again, 9 is with us in spirit. He is feeling a bit under the weather, but we're still going to go on without him. He'll be back on Monday. And if you haven't already seen it, he uploaded Atlanta, the season 4, episode 8, The Goof Who Sat by the Door. He uploaded that breakdown. And it just, if you're gonna watch a movie, yeah, there goes the pins. If you're gonna watch a movie, you're gonna watch a show. Skip that time that you do that and go watch that breakdown. Every season he drops one that's incredible. Last season it was Rich Wigga, Poor Wigga. That breakdown was incredible, and this one is just the same as that one. So go see it if you haven't already seen it. But let's kick this right off, man. And this feels like a bit throwback in the way that we used to do it, because it's sort of nostalgic, because we started breaking down Dave and Atlanta all together. And me and Jeff, I was listening back because me and Jeff broke down these 2 episodes during the whole lockdown, series of events. And we didn't have Terry on. Terry came on when we broke down Atlanta, but we broke down season 2 together. So it's great, actually, that we get to break down season 1 together. Jeff, top 3 things, what you love about this first episode, Hype Man, episode 5.
All right, so I'm going to try and switch up and not use ones I used the last time.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with some of my favorite quotes. My first favorite quote is everything I say needs to be on a t-shirt. I fucking love it. Oh, fucking Gata, man.
Gata.
Next is pretty quickly after that. I got a Mike quote. So you shot your load and caught it in your neck? What are you, a globetrotter? And then another Gata one. Man, he dresses cool as fuck. He knows all the hip hop lingo, but he pronounces it correctly.
That is Gata describing L's.
I got other favorite parts of the show, but I figure we'll get into them when we start breaking it down.
For sure. Terry, top 3 quotes, top 3 moments you loved about this particular episode.
We'll go with the title because it's called Hype Man. And in the very first part where he's dressing them in the mall, first of all, I want that jacket. That jacket
the Medusa
is awesome. Can I show it?
Yeah.
My share screen.
Yeah, hit share screen.
I think present at the bottom.
Like, look at that. Look at that jacket, front and back. Oh
drippy.
My God. Drip.
Drippy.
Such it's crip drip, you know. And just when he says, "What about the Bloods?" But like that's just it was like he was hyping him up to like complete strangers. He was already showing how he's a hype man, and he was just hyping him up to people he didn't even know. Like he was showing that he was ready to be the hype man.
Yeah, he was doing his job before he got hired for it.
Oh hell yeah!
And then
I guess another part, or it's just kind of like a whole section, is that we get to see what was Gator doing before he met Little Dicky, and this whole episode kind of lines up all the way to the part to where he first meets Little Dicky. So we see Gator's past. We see like he wasn't like making up the shit that he was. How he said he had songs with these people. He used to kick it. He really was kicking it with people, and we see that he was a hype man, but he was just too hype. He was too hype of a hype man. He didn't know when to turn the hype off. And that's the makings of a good hype man, is that you got to know when to not be hype.
Right. Yeah. You got to.
It's not that you're hype all the time. You got to know when to not be hype.
You got to know when to shut the hype off just for a little bit,
gotta know when to fold them.
And we got to know when to hold them, when to fold them. Yeah, I love that beginning scene when he throws up the little Dicky sign, and it's
cool. It's like, well, not really, but low key. Yeah. And then this final third favorite part is the emotional opening up of that. We find out that Gator is suffering from bipolar disorder,
right?
And he really does. The actual Gator, he really does. So I feel like that scene with the tears and everything, that was pretty legit. He was probably like really getting into the emotions of how he feels every time he actually has to tell somebody this.
Right.
And to put it out there, literally the entire world now knows.
Right. So I kind of feel like maybe he's realized, now the entire world, the people who watch this show, everyone's going to know now.
That's a level of brave, man.
It's so funny that you say that, because when we first broke this episode down, when it first came out, Jeff, you read there was an Instagram post that Lil Dicky posted about Gator and how like happy and how proud he was. And just, I think he used Gator was greatest actor that acted. That's how that was the analogy, like the anagram he made.
The analysis
that they made for him in his post. And I thought it was a really beautiful thing, because there's not a whole bunch of I think maybe nowadays a little bit, like, Logic came out with the song about, offing yourself and the suicide hotline and yada, yada. And so there's been some awareness to it. Was it Logic? Was it G-Eazy? Was somebody, one of the two. But like mental health is not a huge thing. And then to be diagnosed with this and put it out there as like a thing, like usually it's like, oh, this person did an interview with Diane Sawyer and she asked him, how's your mental health? And then like it comes out in this serious way. It's never like in this, sort of real way, and like how it would be in the real world, I really like the way they introduced that.
So what are your three, buddy?
Yeah, my three, again, mine was the when he threw up a little C, because that's so great.
Right. Sorry, I missed that.
Because it's low key. The shoe store scene with the return of the bully, when when the store guy asked him, he's like, all right, just need a reason for why you're returning the shoe.
He's a bitch ass nigga.
Real glad Terry quoted up like.
Was he typing that in?
Okay.
Okay. I was like, really? Was there a keystroke for that? That's actually the reason. Oh, reason number 7 right here, bitch ass nigga. Okay. You would be surprised about how often this happens. Dude, we have a key for that.
Yeah, he was just so nonchalant about it. He was just like, oh, all right, yeah, that seems like a good reason. And then how the episode goes around in a loop, because like for them to do it at the time when this season came out, like I think up until then, me and Jeff were watching it, we were breaking it down, and it was good. It was every episode was sort of better than the last one. And then when they did this one, the episode is funny. It's heartfelt. Like when I first watched it, I remember tearing up a little bit, especially when Gaeta, has that sort of just honest moment with everybody. And then for it to they already insinuated that Gaeta, how he met, got what's his name's number again, Nitty's number again.
Nutty.
And so you could kind of put 1 and 2 together. But then when they plot him back at the end of the episode and he's back in the studio lobby, it's like, whoa, bravo. I love that.
And we find out how long it's been since Gaeta and Lil Dicky met. It's been because the last little
6 months ago
time card scene was 6 months.
Yep.
It says 6 months ago. And then it goes back to that first episode. And we're like, oh, they've been hanging out for 6 months now.
And man, there's just so many great things about this episode. Like, so just getting close to the one of the ones we just covered. If you're Bino and you hear Gaeta went crazy and they kicked him out of the tour and everything, how the hell are you so crazy that you're gonna then give Gaeta Nutty's number, his new number?
You know what I thought? I was like, did he actually give him the right number? Because Gaeta didn't even send that text.
It's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Real good point.
If you think of a person's crazy, you may just like, oh yeah, here's his, number. Yeah. I was thinking about that today. I'd never really thought about that. Like, but conspiracy time, did he give him the right number? I don't even know. So
I don't know. That's a good point. We have no way of
knowing. He also knew that Nutty changed his number.
Right.
Remember in that first episode? So I think maybe he did.
Well, but he knows that based on what Bino told him. We still don't know if he ever texted Nutty.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, he could have. Yeah, he could have. Maybe he could have texted him, and that's how he knew that Nutty got a new number, or he just kept up with his boy Bino and had been trying to get a hold of Nutty and probably told him, wow, real. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe he didn't text him. He doesn't text him the whole time. And he finds out through Bino that Nutty got a new number because he can't even get a hold of him maybe when he texts him on his own. And that's how he found out. That's an interesting way.
I was thinking maybe he knew Nutty got a new number because he kept texting his old number and then he eventually got blocked. Or he couldn't reach that number. So he's like, yeah, he probably changed his number on me.
Man, there's a lot that could have been there.
I don't know if he would have known that when Dave told, from the time Dave got it to when like in the 3 days that Dave's like, I haven't been able to get a hold of him since last week, so who knows? But
that's interesting too, because Gaeta says that Nutty got a new number when Dave's freaking out. I forgot about that part.
So he knew by that point that Nutty had a new number. Which means
he gave him the right number too, and then
that's what it was.
He texted him.
Yeah. Okay.
So then he's got the right number. Okay.
All right. All right.
We just Scooby-Dooed that shit. That's great.
We had to put those together.
It's like Blue's Clues. We throw it all together. But this episode for me is knowing what we know about the season. This is my favorite episode of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's the highest rated once we start to look on IMDb a little bit later. If it's the highest rated episode, just it's super great.
So something I just noticed, because as we know, I've got it going around in the background.
Right.
They also dated around the time when this episode comes out, not just like in the Dave universe, but in like years wise as well. When Gaeta's working at that at Game Force 6 months ago, there's obviously it's a gaming store. There's N64 controllers on the wall. So this is a while ago, because GameStop doesn't even carry Wii controllers anymore. So this is a good amount of time back.
Well, no, it says the years of what time it was.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Each little black card, I'm pretty sure it says like 2017, 2016. It says the years on them. Let me pull it.
I don't remember seeing that.
Up.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like that old. I just thought that was a retro game store or something.
It was supposed to be. Could be that too. Actually, now I think about it. But no, because they Red Dead Redemption. I don't know. Could be anything. Anyway,
I think they were just selling like whatever. Like if you go into Game Fellas or something, they got a whole bunch of old shit in there, and like it's a video game store. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because when he's at the video game store, that's where you see the title card that says 6 months ago.
Right, but I didn't know if it was supposed to be around the 2020s times. I don't know. It's just kind of weird because I'm always trying to figure out when these things are supposed to be set in time.
I think you always just tell by the smartphones. Like that's actually the best way to do that. When did that smartphone come out? It's probably within a year of that to within a year of whenever that is.
I'll have to go back and start diagnosing some smartphones then, I guess.
I think Dave has an iPhone, if I remember correctly.
But which number?
Right. That's sort of what matters. Was it with the thumb or was it with the, face? That'll say a big thing.
Definitely wasn't face.
All right. Might have been thumb. But yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, because again, it's coming up right now. I love also how Gaeta tries to explain his bipolar to them. He goes, sometimes I'm crazy, sometimes I'm lazy. And it's like, what a perfect layman's description of bipolar disorder. While also being very accurate,
Right. Yeah. It does. This episode does a great job, and Gaeta does a great job. Again, like, I'm gonna harp on this. Like, it's a great episode, and it's also made great because this is Gaeta's first acting gig at all. When we spoke to Gina Hecht, who plays Dave's mom in the show. She was telling Gina.
He said it right.
Man, she get upset. I don't need no problems with Little Dicky's mom. But she informed us, remember, like this was his first time he had ever acted, which makes it all the more impressive when he's like crying, like the range.
And like when she said first acting, like I don't remember him even from any of Dave's music videos.
Yeah, he's never been in music videos, but I went back. So for those that don't know, Gaeta is Lil Dicky's real life hype man and has been for a number of years. I think I remember looking back at a video from South by Southwest when Dicky was here. It was either 2014 or 2015. And clearly you can see Gaeta's on stage with them. So like Gaeta has been his man for the hottest of minutes. And even on stage, they have known each other. So that's a real cool thing to bring in from the real life and then like bring it into the show.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, and again, it just goes to show the talent that the real human Gaeta has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, as there's so much great about this. And then the scene that really got me too was even when he was when first of all, he was having a breakdown in the shoe store and cracked the laptop. We had talked about this. So he's like, I used to have that laptop that had all the Wayne songs. Well, we're like, why didn't you release them? Well, now he don't have the laptop anymore.
Because he mentions why. Because he says, I had him on my laptop, but something happened.
Right.
And
it never tells us about
something happened.
Now we get the story.
They're real good about. We said this last episode that they're real good about coming back and looping everything together.
Yeah, they definitely
something in one episode. You're guaranteed to see it later on.
Just fantastic writers in this, and I gotta say, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little pissed at Gaeta's mom for buying him such a cheap fucking laptop. Otherwise, we would have heard those Wayne songs, man. God.
That laptop costs more than my laptop right now.
$1,300 per. That's a good laptop,
That's a solid laptop.
Good laptop.
Solid, new right there. And then the scene that got me too, and I loved how they like did sort of the whatever cap that they used to sort of put all of his dreads in, because like when they made him look young, like because they did a great job sort of hiding so many all of his dreads that he has when he's in the hospital and he's just on the bed.
Yeah.
And when he's like, being like, why you gotta let him do me like this? Like, why you gotta? Why am I here? Why am I like not understanding, bro? Like that just felt so like, oh, my heart's breaking watching this.
Oh God, I mean, that just the confusion of I gotta assume it's just the confusion that comes from coming down from that manic part of it. But I mean, obviously, I don't know personally, but it just
And definitely being doped up on stuff, right? Because
oh
Mhm.
yeah,
definitely been tranked and shit.
oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
Man, I wonder just fuck, do you think it was just triggering for Gata to have to relive that acting it, you know? Do you think that was just I mean, I can't imagine how hard that must have been for him.
What you mean?
Think about
Oh,
like
him
as
Data
the real person.
Person being
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, right.
Especially like he's got those soft restraints again, which like I mean, I know that he knows it's safe. In a second, he goes like, no, cut, I need these off. They'll take it off. But like just being held up like that, that's gotta be fucking freaky for him.
Yeah, if that really did, like, we don't know if that event really happened, but if it
Yeah,
did,
true.
it would have to pull you back to that moment and be like, fuck, like,
Dude.
oh man, having to do this all over again.
I would love to know how the real Mike and Dave and everybody in real life, how they all if Gata like explained it to them in such an explosive way, like yo, I'm bipolar, and like trying to, and I would love to know like how that session just really went. I would assume it went fairly close to as good as it did in the show, but you know, it's one of those things where it's just. I mean, hell, in the show, Mike makes a joke about it. I think it's pretty cool that we got the first hype man with clinical depression, you know? Which it would be just I think that's such a good way. Like, I love, and it's such a good way of like, that's kind of Dave in general, you know? He uses that humor to undercut those really like harsh things to really talk about. So,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're focusing on this and not the fact that Dave said he used to suck his own penis. And he wanted to try and do it on stage.
I thought we were gonna make it through the episode, not bringing that up.
Well, I mean, legally, are we allowed to bring it up? Like legally, can we do that?
That's a real question.
Please tell me you didn't swallow. Oh God, he just.
Bro, the times where Mike is like, you're serious, right? It reminds me of the last episode when he's like, yeah, because, you know, Gata asked me if rhinoceroses are real. And Dave says, why? Because they're extinct? And Mike's like, you kidding me? Like, Mike is such a voice of reason, and I love it.
Santino's so good at that dry humor, man.
Right.
He just how he keeps a straight face during some of these lines, I don't know.
I don't know if they had to shoot this multiple times, but what?
I was gonna look up like a blooper reel, but how do you look up a blooper reel for a show called Dave? Any actor named Dave, that blooper is gonna come up.
Let's just put random blooper reels on and we'll figure it out.
Or maybe Dave FX blooper reel might narrow.
Yeah, that might be it. Just don't Google Lil Dicky blooper because we might get some other stuff that we don't really want.
I'm not getting. So I YouTube Dave FX blooper. I didn't get that, but I am getting like Inside Look season 1, Inside Look Gata Cam, Inside Look Andrew Santino. These are gonna be some good things to look up. Oh man, Bieber. Okay, so not bloopers, but these inside looks. I'm gonna have to check these out.
I wonder if because when FX aired it, they would like show like some inside look after the episode. So I wonder if these are the official ones. Yeah. I forgot where I saw them. I feel like I had to go like digging, like on their like Facebook and like, you know, Instagram page or something to go find them.
Oh, YouTube's got you covered, buddy.
Love it. But yeah, this episode it really, I think it really sort of not takes away in a bad way, but like it really adds dynamicism to what this show is going to be, because before this, it's all like, you know, dick and bro jokes at this point, and which is not bad. Like, I mean, that is who Little Dicky is, but like I couldn't say. I was like, nope, they're combining. But that is who Little Dicky is, and so that's not to take away anything from the show, but like adding something like this when I don't think you watch it for the first time, you don't expect something like this.
No.
Which makes it all the more like impactful, I think.
I mean, was it last episode? Emma's like, "What? Your name's a little dick joke," you know? Like, but like, and yeah, it is and everything. But I mean, like, even like a silly music video, like "Save That Money," it's actually poking, like, it's actually a really intelligent music video and song.
Right.
I mean, like, yeah, it's still making fun of things, but in a pretty intelligent and, at least in one level, kind of a deep way.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I love that the show goes beyond that and helps us explore, like, this is a very, like, this does what Atlanta does a lot of the times, right? It like removes Lil Dicky from a lot of the action. He's just a side character in this, and we have like these solo episodes where somebody else is the main protagonist of said episode, which I love.
Agreed.
So, what do we have on IMDb, Jeff, for this episode?
All right, so IMDb rating with over 1,000 ratings, 9.2. The highest rated so far.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, so this is the 5th episode. Before this, only one episode broke 8. And it's the second highest rated of the season.
This one is the second highest rated one of the season.
Yep.
Oh, okay. The last episode was probably the highest rated one, I think. Yeah. That one was great. But yeah, I remember when this came out, it was already in the 9s when we looked it up. And we were just like, bro, yes. Deserves every bit of that. Also, when we broke this down, do you know how long of an episode that was?
No.
An hour 55.
Was that back when we were like actually saying what? Because when we started, we were also like, so here's what happened in the episode, and then here's what happened next. And so was it one of those episodes?
We were breaking it down, but like we joked about like every single line at least like twice.
There's so many funny lines in this episode.
Yes, there really is, and there's a lot of it too. Just like it's dry, but like even when Gator's like this guy, you know. Yeah. Funny little white boy. But even when Gator's like, this guy, you know, pops pimples on your back or whatever, does acne on your back.
This guy rubs acne on your back.
That's such a weird thing.
He's like, you got a small dick.
Like, imagine it's 2090, but it's being described by someone from 1920. Like, I mean, even just shit like that. She shows a sketch of her flicking him off, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I love that. I love, like, that's when you finally kind of see Emma finally sticking up for herself. And you're kind of like, why is she kind of like that? But you see that she's kind of been taking Little Dicky's shit since, like, before he was Little Dicky. And
we get into that. Don't we?
Oh, yeah. Is that this season or next?
Season.
That's next
second
season. Yeah.
Second
season it really shows. But, like, this is, like, one of the first that kind of sets the piece.
Yeah.
Of the building animosity between them.
Also, I'm very much in love with Christine Coe. Hey, what's up, girl?
I bet the next episode was definitely your favorite.
The next episode after this one? Or the next one we're gonna do? Talent shows or what would you do?
Right.
Oh yeah, what would you wear?
What would you wear? That's that's a pretty good one. I'm pretty happy with that one.
Because I started watching both of them, and then it auto plays to the next one. Then it plays the next one. And I was like, no, this was Jeff's favorite episode.
No, I gotta be honest. Hype man's. Oh shit! I'm starting to remember some of the ones later on the season. It's just such a good show. Yeah.
This season gets better and better the more you watch it. And I'll say this for anybody, again, still on the fence about Dave, or if you're a Dave fan and you've never really known, be like, hey, get somebody in here, have them go up into this episode, and then tell them to report back to you how much they enjoyed it. Because this episode, I think for a lot of people, if they were a little on the fence in the first 4 episodes, this one sort of it wins you over. Would you agree with that, Terry?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like this was like the turning point episode. Like everything was kind of like a C plus, and this was like the A, where I was like, this kid has some serious talent. Here we go.
Yeah,
he's not a failure. It's not just an average TV show right here.
Right.
And I'll tell you,
like the IMDb scores kind of reflect that too.
Hypospadias was the only one over an 8 in the first 4 episodes, which was an 8.8, by the way.
That's still that's super good.
That's a high 8. Yeah.
That's super good.
And I'll tell you what, if you're trying to get someone hooked, I'll bet you could show them this episode without the first 4 and you get them hooked. Because this one's kind of standalone-ish.
So much of like what makes Atlanta great, and I think we've talked about this. Jeez, we always bring it back to Atlanta. But like, is almost every single episode is a standalone. It's combined well in the world, but almost any single one of those you could show to somebody isolated, and they will still, I think, not feel completely lost. Yeah. And they don't need the storyline. This one is one of those. I think they do that.
Like you'll have a few questions from like the beginning of like the somebody suck me. But outside of that, I think you could probably figure it out, you know? Oh, you're right. It does say 2017.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Right? Man, that's some selective hearing here, huh?
We need some glasses, Chef.
So the only other note I got for this episode is a question for you guys. Because I don't know if this... Do either of you know, does he actually show a fucking video like that before his show?
I've never been to his concert. I don't know.
I never went.
And I tried looking it up, and I can't tell. Because every time I look it up, this is just what they show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't exactly know. If anybody knows out there how Lil Dicky starts off his shows, if he starts off with like a film with a short film with him and Gata and his DJ, then that would be cool, but I don't know. Or maybe he just did that for like his first few episodes or for his first few shows. Who knows?
Well, I'll be honest. I was trying to look it up because I was wondering like what's the real L's look like, and I couldn't find it. Still, you know.
I feel like I've seen a picture of him. He a DJ. He a black dude. DJ.
And what did he get in a fight after school? His mom got scared.
We'll talk about that in the next episode. Well, let's wrap this one up so we can move on to that one. Any final notes, Producer Terry?
No, I think we kind of carried it. But yeah, I just kind of want to bring it back to the score of just like looking at all the rest, you know. Yeah, this one was the first one that I would say gave it over a 9, gave it that A that we've been looking for. So yeah, I definitely agree with saying this is a good standaloner, because I feel like you can watch this one and then immediately go back to the first one, and it would.
And then you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, exactly." Jeff, any final notes as we wrap this episode up?
Like I said, that question was my final note. I mean, it's my favorite episode up to this point, and if there's any that compete with it, it's going to be way later in the season.
Facts, big facts. Let's move on to episode 6. Talent shows.
Before we do, Blake, did you have any notes? Any final notes?
No, everybody go watch this episode.
Well, fuck off. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's a great episode. It's a great show. It's a great episode. Let's move on. This next episode, episode 6 of Dave, is Talent Shows. And it was I was today years old when I put 1 and 2 together. Because it's not just about the talent show. It's that his talent shows.
Man, I don't know if I just never read the second S on that before, but yeah, today, me too.
Yeah, I guess me too.
Great minds.
I didn't really think about it.
because I was like, for the longest, I was typing the title and I was like, yes, talent show, and I was like, let me just make sure in talent shows, and I was just like, it took them what 3 years to get me. Okay, very nice.
Man.
All right, Jeff, you kicked us off last time, right? Or did Terry
Nope.
kick us off?
Did I? Terry did?
No,
Terry did?
actually, I think Jeff did.
You in
Jeff
second.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, producer
Terry's up.
Terry, top 3 moments, top 3 quotes. What you got for this particular episode?
It's already on one of my favorite parts. I'm like rewatching it right now.
Yep.
And it is when Dave's dad is washing the wrong person.
The car.
The car. I knew you knew it because I was like, I bet this one because God damn it.
Terry, a man should wash his own car.
Dude, the cars are exactly the same. Like
Those things are expensive.
they have the exact same model and color car, or I was like, man, you might need some help there.
He's getting in there. He's getting in the wheels.
I gotta say, a lot of the beginning is just with the parents. They just have so much because she's super talented. Worked with Robin Williams and fucking Mork and Mindy. She wasn't
Right.
that came on. She was a main stage player on that show. So yeah, super talented. But like her and the husband are just so good together. Like that whole beginning dinner scene, starting with company fucking chicken, the turtles dying, Lenny and Lenny, because I guess this might be number 2 when he says
You mean
thesis.
wait.
Now he's on thesis.
Feces.
Feces.
They drowned in their own feces.
That's what I said, thesis.
Don, it's feces. Don.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a hilarious scene.
Oh, it's so good.
Tucking Gata in when he tucks him in. Also, I really love the kid actor they got for Little Dave.
Oh,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Little Dave is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I imagine that's like, I don't know I'm pretty sure I could look up what Dave Bird looks like, but I don't want to because I think he looks exactly like Little Dave that they got. You can't
Actually,
tell me otherwise.
let's see. Let's pull it up real quick. Let's present.
I mean, technically, we saw it in the last episode in the LD that Emma made.
Oh,
Gotta look close. Little Dave. Did you type in Lil Dicky?
Dave Bird.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna look. Share screen.
God, it's just gonna be exactly what I think. Every time when it cuts to that background screen is like a
This is the youngest we got. Kind of looks like him.
Blow that up. Oh man. But that's like high school, right?
Yeah, it seems like high school.
Yeah, it's high school.
We need a middle school.
I love that he did the open mouth smile for his high school yearbook pic there.
I feel like I'd seen like a super young one of him, and I don't know where it was. But he looks. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, that was the one. That was the
He's
one
got
in
the jersey on.
Oh man, with the crew cut and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
Oh, Lil Dave.
Oh, Lil Dave.
Oh, Lil Dicky.
Where's the Jufro? I like a little younger Dave better.
He got trimmed off in that haircut, but I'm sure he had it when he was young. All right, Jeff, hit us with your 3.
All right. Well, so I'm gonna have to skip over my man washing his own car, I guess. All right. So at dinner, Gata, what matzah? Like cheese? Like this is mozzarella and bread?
You know what's funny? I just re-listened to our episode. We broke this down, and that's the one you started off with last time too.
Gata makes me laugh. Dave's parents make me laugh. So you put them together, and it's a good fucking time for me.
It's a great scene, yeah.
All right. So then, you know what? I'm sure I mentioned this last time. I'm going to say it again. Dave's trying to get famous. Dave's trying to get notoriety. He's opening for Meek Mills. So he then thinks it's a good idea to piss himself while being filmed. Like, man, how's that helping your brand? How's that helping you get big and everything? Come on, man.
The bird bombs. Bird bombs.
And you know what? My third one, I'm going to give big props to Els for just not putting up with that bullshit. Like, he sees the way they're acting. He eventually tells Dave, but then he's also like, you know what? I'm gonna let Dave enjoy this, but I'm not dealing with it. I'm fucking going. And he's like, no, this is the worst place I've ever been in my life, man. You know, he just fucking leaves.
Right.
Props to Els for that.
Yeah, he was a real friend in this episode. Like, you look at it on the surface, and I was watching it again. I was just like, damn, he's mean. But when you watch it on the surface, you're like, yeah, he is mean. But like, you let it play out, and he's just like, dude, like, he's like, why do you not like them? He's like, they don't like you. Like, they weren't an asshole to me. They're an asshole to you. And you realize he's like, Dave, like, I'm trying to like shake you and wake you up. These guys are not your friends. And finally, by the end, when he kicks him out, and he's just like, thank you, man. Like, you know, I think Els could probably have a better way of handling that, but also he's doing the friend thing of being like, nah, man, these people are like, they're not good for you.
Yeah. He's mad for his friend, and two, he's literally been seeing them treating Dave this way their entire lives. I can't imagine how infuriating that is.
Yeah. And Dave has this recollection that they're like his besties.
I want to say Els walks the fine line of being the asshole friend. Like, he doesn't really, he kind of crosses the line sometimes, and he's an asshole about things, but he knows where these guys are just true assholes. Like, they're just assholes to be assholes. They're not your friend. While Els is like, I'm an asshole just to kind of give you a hard time and keep you in check. These dudes are trying to put you down.
They're using
you. Yeah. For the benefit of their own, like, Dave was not the class clown. Dave was the class Johnny Knoxville. And he was, you know, essentially, if they liked him because he did stunts at the demise of, like, to cover up whatever insecurity of like wanting to be liked, or at the beginning, you know, like not wanting them to see his penis, like, he's just covering it. He's covering up his insecurities by doing these things to like humiliate himself in front of people, and like they love it, but in the inside, he really just, I think he still has like a hard time with it.
It's like they bully him without being, they're not physical bullies at all, but they are complete bullies to where they're making him do all these self-deprecating things, and like purposely made him embarrass himself in front of that girl he likes. It's like they're bullies. They're just not very like physical violent, and they're not direct with their threats and taunts.
Right.
It's the opposite of what, like, when you were getting bullied young, or like when you were getting made fun of when you were younger. It's the opposite of what your mom told you. They're not laughing with you; they're laughing at you.
Exactly.
But Dave thought they were laughing with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Exactly.
So, Blake, what's your three, buddy?
My three. I'm gonna start off with. I killed your shit, bro.
Yes.
Oh, that.
Okay. Let me. Yeah,
Could you sign my dick?
No. Will you sign a dick on my dick? Okay. Let me set context. I hadn't watched this season for a long time till we came back to rewatch it, right? And I never watch ahead of the episode that I'm going to watch. So we're doing 1 and 2. I watch 1 and 2. We're doing 3 and 4. I watch 3 and 4. We're doing 5 and 6. I watch 5 and 6. I probably hadn't seen it in a solid. I think I watched it before we broke down season 2 of Dave. So that's probably the last time I'd watched it. I don't think I really watched it a whole bunch because, like I watched Atlanta and stuff. So when it got back to the scene, and the guy immediately walks up and is like, "Yo, I killed your shit, bro." And Dave's like, "What?
Wait, sorry, what?"
I was caught off guard because I forgot how funny this whole scene is with the meeting the fans, and that dude in particular, right? Like, you sign my dick? Like, he's like, no. He's like,
3, 9, 4,
So what are you doing? What are you doing?
Is that your phone
8,
number?
7.
Is that your phone number?
I'm not gonna do anything with that.
Yeah, I'm not- that's of no use to me.
That's what it was.
And then he tells him, he's like, "Can I meet you after the show?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess meet me in the parking lot, like outside when everything's done."
I like how he does not tell him no. He just tells him no, not right now.
So later, right?
Yeah, just see me outside after.
I think Darius said it best. Like, that just means no, man. You know, no, not right now means
Okay. Yeah.
that just means no. All right. So here's the theory, and I think this was, again, I get another theory for this episode. I think this was a deleted scene where Dave is speaking with Els and Mike and informing them how gullible his dad is, because those two keep making the dad, like, keep telling him gullible shit. So we start with the Fecious thing, right? It's Fecious, and Mike's the one who says Fecious. Yeah, he's got it. And even Elsis is like, no, what the fuck? Like, this is not wrong. This is wrong. And then when Els tells him the story, he's like, well,
So Elliot, why did you move out to California?
Got in one little fight and my mom got scared. And she said that you're moving with your uncle to Bel Air.
I thought you lived in West Hollywood.
Or like when it has to be a game too, because when Mike and Dave are talking, the tuna can, right? The tuna can incident. This episode is full with all sort of funny bits, but the tuna can, he's like, he's like, you gotta put a tuna can opener on the rider. It's not quite there yet, is what he tells me. He's like, do you want to do like we do at home and throw it against the wall? And Dave doesn't stop him. He literally says, no, I don't think I want them to make a mess. So I think that there was a deleted scene where, like, they are talking about how gullible his dad is and are like, I bet you I can get him. Or like, you pay me $50, like whoever can get him the biggest, you know what I mean? Has to be something like that, because they just keep going after Don. Leave Don alone.
Do you think, oh my God, do you think Don is where, leave Brittany alone? Do you think Don is where Dave gets his acceptance of humiliating himself?
Possibly, but like Don does it like
because Don's so
innocently.
lovable.
Yeah. He's like when he got suited up and then his wife's like, no, you're not wearing that. He's like, but I'm the father of the rapper.
I should have bought that hat for this episode. Oh my God. Missed opportunities, guys.
It's great. And then here we go. This was going to be a bonus one, but I'm going to add that as my third. We know Meek Mill's parents' names. It's Rob and Sharon Mills.
Hubstub? How do we prevent what is
scalping? Yeah, how do we prevent scalping? Oh, bro, the whole scene.
Wait.
Any of the other rappers' parents going to be there?
Yeah. Bob and Sharon Mills.
I'm sorry, you said what and Sharon and what?
Bob and Sharon Mills, right?
Do you want to laugh real hard?
And tell me.
So it's not Sharon, it's Kathy, but his dad's name is Rob.
He's so cool.
Well, folks, that'll be us. Thank you so much for doing
it.
It don't get no better than that.
Oh, God.
I want to throw this bonus quote in there. So Mike is talking with Dave, and he's telling him, he's like, Dave's like, hey, we need this. And this is when they're in the dressing room. Mm-hmm. And Mike is trying to eat, and Dave's just asking him a bunch of questions. And he said, "Where's my mom?" He says, "I don't know where your mom is, but your dad is roaming around the building looking for cake."
And everyone just accepts it.
Yeah, he's like, "Okay,
All
that sounds
right.
about right." Is it going to be a mash pit? Is there going to be a mash pit? We need to.
They have so many great lines in this episode, and it's one of those ones where like they just like boom, 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 to the point where it's like there's a few that I always miss because I'm not done laughing from the last line.
Right. Watch it with. I mean, it's much like Atlanta. Watch it with the subtitles on because
you
like
have to.
you will miss at least 2 or 3 things the first time that you watch it. And even if you have subtitles, you will miss it. So just watch it again. But this one has. I'm not going to say the last episode didn't have a storyline to it because a lot of the storyline to it was fleshing out the character arc that is Gaeta, showing us who he is, and then showing us that he's actually Dave's new hype man and Dave's ready to go on tour. This one is Dave is now on tour. He's doing his first show he's in Philly. Is that where he's at?
Yep, back home.
He's in Philly, back home, opening up for Meek Mill, and he is sort of fighting the past in a sense, right? Like wrestling with the past of like, hey, he's his friends from camp where he performed at his first talent show, and sort of overcoming the sense of like the people who you think are your friends may not be your friends, and killing that old part of you that you thought I think you hang on to, you think people like. I think a lot of this episode is a representation of like, it's killing the past to make way for the future, killing those insecurities. Oh, what is that?
Nothing.
Got a little smoke machine?
What are you talking about? No, nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I bought a smoking gun for my fucking food and my drinks, but I thought it'd be funny to just mess with you guys and just have random smoke showing up.
Oh, I like that. Jeff's a good hype man. Just call Jeff randomly on Skype at Donna Cheadle's driveway, littletiki2.com.
Because of the hackers.
It's because of the hacker. And then he'll smoke out your shit. Oh, that's
Let's
beautiful.
see how this smoky beer tastes.
How much was that thing?
$30.
Oh, that's great.
Dude, I've been smoking food all week. It's the best.
Yeah?
I made smoked butter.
What? What the fuck?
I made butter, and now it tastes smoky.
All right. It's like you put it in a smoker, but you didn't have to melt it again.
I absolutely interrupted you, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
Story. Dave confronting his past.
This one has story, right? Dave confronting his past, and it's the friends of his past. It's himself, bro. He kills himself in Lo Mein.
Can I ask you guys a quick question about this? and Terry, you've worked with Phil more. How the fuck do you think they did that without that kid just not breathing for a certain amount of time? Do you think that kid's just really good at holding his breath?
Hey, that kid died.
Yeah. Also, I think it's probably pretty hard to really like suffocate somebody in some chow mein. It seems kind of.
I mean, I don't think it's easy to breathe when you're face first in chow mein.
Then again, there could have been like just a hole kind of cut out to where we couldn't see where his actual mouth or nose really went into the plate.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
But still,
the magic of
He
Hollywood.
probably is just maybe really good at like because there's really not that long of a scene. I was like, he can probably hold his breath for that long, and I feel like if you're gonna smother someone, chow mein's probably not the best to use.
What food item would you use to kill your past self, Terry?
Jello. You can.
Oh, you are fucking kidding me! I was gonna say Jello.
I was like, if I'm being from the Jello or fish bones or something. You know.
You
just shove. What's the movie? Jawbreaker. Shove that down their throat.
In the mouth. Oh my god.
Yep.
That's a huge jawbreaker too. Let me tell you. That was a movie right there. But yeah. So yeah, that's essentially what this episode is. And you know what I really love too about this episode is even the last shot of this episode is beautiful. Like I remember it. I remember using that word when I first described it because like it's Dave and there's no like music or anything. It's just like sort of him, slow motion. You don't really know what he's rapping, but they're trying to sell you on like use your imagination of like what's going on. Just here's this beautiful visual of him like enjoying the hell out of the show and like fans enjoying it. Els, Gata, like it's a beautiful last shot for this episode.
Like Dave comes out so high energy, you think to yourself like, man, you needed a hype man? Right. I mean, like, bro, you are fucking in it. You are, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Gata. I'm so glad he's there. But like, you know, I was real impressed with how Dave came out, just like rearing and ready to go.
Right. It's I don't know. I thought it was such a beautiful way to end it, and it really, as soon as I saw it, I was like, dang, like again, like it's not as good as Hype Man, but the way that they ended, it was just like it was beautiful to see, and I'm like, dude, I remember watching it as the season came out week by week. I'm like, I want to keep watching this till the end. I did before, but I want to even more now because of like little stuff that they're doing like this.
And if you think about like there's no song they could have actually had him go out singing that would have been as good as that moment.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man.
It's on that scene right now. He's just hopping around, bobbing and weaving. And he got the LD with all of his little kid faces over it. It's great.
Mm-hmm. So one thing that this is the first time I've noticed it. When he's doing his meet and greet and when he sees his sniper buddy, his sniper buddy's like, oh man, I loved what banana pudding or something. I forget what the name of the song was.
Banana cream pudding or something like that.
Banana cream pudding, I think it was. He's like, oh, I fucking love that. And Dave goes, that song sucks. And the guy goes, really? That sounds like all your other stuff to me.
It sounds like all your other shit. Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's when like Dave starts turning and realizing like, oh, fuck, these are my fans? Like things that like Dave knows that, you know, he makes jokes and Dave knows that he's in it for the fun and the funny, but he still sees him like some of his stuff is trash and some of his stuff is amazing. Mm-hmm. So when someone's praising him for the trash and telling him like, oh, that just sounds like everything else to me, that's when this episode takes that turn. And that's when Dave starts realizing like, oh no. And this is literally the first time I've ever noticed that was the part, you know?
That's a good catch, man. That's a real good catch. I do want to point out too another little Easter egg. If you're a little Dickie fan, in one of his raps when he was on Sway, he was talking about how he's like met some fans and like, dude, her girl's brother was like, fuck her, bro. Fuck her, bro. And so when you see that sort of play out, when the brother's like, hey, it's my sister. You can take her back to your trailer and do whatever you want.
Why would you even say that?
Well, because gingers have no souls. We know this. So,
and the best part is the sister just sitting there. No, she doesn't move the entire time. She's just
like, yeah.
He doesn't like out flatly deny it. She's like, don't stop.
Doesn't look at Dave, doesn't just maintains eye contact with the camera, just
going forward.
It is
what it is.
How about when he Control Z's the guy's cast?
Oh my god, dude, just flat out scribbles over all the guy's cast. Like, bro, what? Don't do that.
Ooh, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
I got a family member who they went to like a high school friend's wedding. And the friend had like this big frame and it was like, you know, oh, sign the frame. And like the couple's in the frame and the picture in the frame. It's like, oh, right. Like just a cute little like, oh, congratulations. And this family member wrote man, I can't believe you're married. But it was my family member has known them for like a decade plus. So it was like, oh man, how crazy is that? And then the family member was like, oh, after they wrote it, they realized how it sounded. So they scribbled it out on their wedding frame.
Oh my gosh.
And then just like opposite, I just went, congrats, and they wrote their name. just like Dave.
Oh my goodness. No, that's not good.
Oh man. Really hope my
Good
family
times.
doesn't listen to this podcast.
Jeff, if Jeff's family's listening, please send him all hate mail and Skype him at Don Cheadle's Driveway at littletiki2.com. It's because of the hackers. What is our IMDb score as we wrap this up?
All right. This got an 8.1, which I find interesting because if we take Hype Man out of the mix, this is then the second highest rating after Hypospadias. But I don't know about you guys, but I personally think this is, well, I'd say I probably laughed harder into Hypospadias. I think this is a better episode than Hypospadias. Personally.
I do too. I enjoyed this one a lot more. Like the ending shot, like Hypospadias had that funny ass ending shot. Like,
oh man,
you can't watch that and then not laugh.
I'll just park on the street. Like, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, but this one had, I think, just so much more jokes going on, like tidbits. It's not like in your face, but it's just like these little tidbit moments and scenes where they're just set up to be comical, but it moves the plot along as well.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And it moves so Hypospadias is an episode within itself, whereas this is an episode within the entire season. It doesn't just move this episode along; it moves the season along.
Facts.
So
big facts.
Again, I just think this specific episode I think is better than Hypospadias.
In our heads, this can be higher than Hypospadias.
I think so.
That's okay.
I did not like the IMDb score on this. I thought, because like I said at the beginning, like these are two really strong episodes, but like the IMDb score only says that about one of them, and I was like, oh, that's weird. It goes back down to it's at least it's an 8. But it's still a low 8.
Yeah. Like it's just an 8, you know?
Just an 8.
Yeah.
I agree. I thought it was better because, like you said, it moves everything along. It's his first like big show that he has. So yeah, we're seeing real progress,
real growth. Is there any trivia on this episode?
The most obvious trivia ever. You ready?
Hit me.
When Els talks about why he moved to LA, he basically recites the lyrics to the opening song to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 1990. Well, whoever said that, actually, you know what? It might say who wrote that. No, it does not. But
Producer
you know what?
Terry.
Thank you for just explaining the joke.
Well, thanks for killing it. Now Don
it's
knows.
The only piece of trivia.
Well,
I'm gonna downvote that one.
Yeah, that feels weak to me. Everybody, come hit Dave with some solid trivia. And before we take off, what do we have? Is any closing notes from you, Jeff, about this episode?
I think we covered most of them. The only thing it's again an obvious thing though, is just like how entitled his camp friends are. I mean, there's all the free things on Dave's rider. There's catering right outside the room. And that little bitchy guy just, you got any Stella? Bro, he got you backstage. He got you fucking hooked up. And you're like, well, can we have this beer? I actually did remember one.
Okay.
So I think it's really interesting. Another thing I didn't realize until this rewatch was, when we see in the club and Gata's getting up in the bouncer's face, like, no, what the hell you think you're doing? No. This is our spot. It's interesting because I never realized before, while because it's so much more outspoken and everything, but it's really a lot like what Els is doing with the camp friends. It's another person trying to stand up for Dave when Dave won't stand up for himself.
Right. Oh, that's a beautiful point. Yeah. And it frustrates Gata too.
Gata flat out calls him a pussy and walks away. He's so angry.
Right. Yeah. And what does Dave do? He just pees himself.
Pees himself.
and then sleeps in it.
Also, if you've ever done that, you don't smell great the next morning.
Oh, you
so
know
don't-
what I remember? There's a scene right then that I had to rewind where I see how Gator fucked up. Because as Dave's waking up and going to go check Elves on the couch,
Yeah.
Mike and Gator are walking and Gator's behind him, and Mike goes, Gator, I just got a $1,500 bill for this
$1,800.
alcohol.
$1,800.
$1,800 bill for this alcohol. I thought you said everything was free. It's like, no, I said the table was free. It was like, but you said it was all taken care of. What exactly does that mean?
Oh, that's so Gator too.
Typical Gator fashion. Yeah, but there's tons of little moments like that throughout the season that like characters are moving this way or that. Like when Mike was on the phone in the Hypospadias episode talking about what was the movie, A Star Is Born or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
Star Is Born.
He's like, I think it's a very great movie. Like you hear that and you're like, what is this conversation? And who is he having it with?
So
yeah.
It's funny because I was listening to Patton Oswalt's stand-up at one point, and he was talking about he gets hired a lot for something called Punch Up, which is like a movie's done. Like it's 97% done. And then they're like, we just need like funny things for people off screen to say. So like things like that. It's like Dave does the Punch Up, but so when Patton's brought in, it's after a movie's completely done. And they're like, oh, we just need a couple jokes. Dave does that before they when they're like, no, we're still filming. Let's put those funny lines in now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it works so well. It works so well as like what's really going on in the scene. I really enjoy it. Again, I think the show is just, Dave Bird, Jeff Shaver, so works so well together to create like, again, a lot of what's going on in the scenes and on the script. Producer Terry, any closing notes about this episode that you got?
That actually, that one point about the $1,800 bill was mine. Gator doesn't know exactly. Is like, what does that home like? And they walk off before Gator can explain himself. I'd be pretty pissed too. I was like, you said it was taken care of. I would think all of it taken care of.
It's a lot of cars Don's going to have to wash.
Right. When he realizes that's not his car and he presses the button on his car, that was classic. No, and then when Mike tries to stop him, he's like, "Should we tell him something?" She's like, "No, let him waste his fucking time."
Damn, Gita!
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, I mean, my final thought on this is again, it's a great episode, and there's one thing I want to close with. It's from you, Jeff. You said it in the last episode. There was a line where they're at the dinner table, and it's the whole feces, and Dave says the line, "Am I being punked?" And you're like, "That's a nice tidbit because Andrew Santino wasn't punked."
Yes,
and
he
I
was.
like, oh, did not know that. So felt I was listening to our old episode, and I felt like I'd bring that back up.
I completely forgot. I didn't realize I brought up in that last episode and when we first did it. But yeah, that's where you got to start. Hollywood start.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, everybody go watch these 2 episodes of Dave. We will be back next Thursday, and again, 9 will be with us. Everybody say, watch the replay. Thank you so much, Kenya. Everybody send 9.
Kenya, come on, Terry, bring me something back real quick.
Oh yeah,
it's almost over, girl.
Yeah. All people that are watching, first person that types in the comment, Terry, bring me something back. He will bring you something back from Istanbul. No questions asked, no bull. He will bring you something back from Istanbul. That's what's going to happen. And everybody give well wishes to 9. He is feeling a little under the weather tonight.
Man, feel better, brother.
Yeah, feel better, 9.
Much mucking,
but
told him about that.
He was mucking too much.
And I already have her address, so that'll be
Yeah, but 9, I mean, look at all these comments, man. Everyone's just telling you to get back to your fucking job. Jesus. This job. I don't know if you got a real job.
Terry he's a world traveler. He's a world traveler fella. But yeah, everybody, look out for 9. We'll be back on Monday. We're going to be breaking down The Last of Us. Me, producer Terry, Kirsten, and 9. And then again, we'll be back next Thursday with Dave season 1. We'll be breaking down episode 7 and 8. I think was What Would You Wear? Was that what it was?
Yes, such a good
What
episode.
Would You Wear? And then I forget what episode 8 is, but it's a great one too.
Pibe.
Bro.
Pibe.
How did I forget that? Yeah, just pibing, bro.
Doing in Turkey, just pibing, man. I really looked up anything. I found out where we are. It's kind of like in the middle of everything, and I'm just gonna pibe.
I love it. If you want to be pibing with us, come join us next Thursday. And also, if you guys miss 9 so much, he's missed y'all. Go watch the latest episode that he dropped for Atlanta. He's still dropping the breakdowns. Listen, y'all. Yeah, he's paying it back like child support with interest. You know what I mean? Like he's dropping them and he's giving them to y'all. You know what I'm saying? All the way through. It's an hour long. He's breaking down the goof who sat by the door. And if you thought the episode was incredible, like itself, this breakdown takes it to a whole new place, and it's fantastic. So go ahead and watch that.
$1. It's $1. You can afford that
on Patreon. Yeah, follow 9 on his Patreon. He just appreciates all the support. It actually goes, all money for Patreon actually goes to a charity that he really supports, that sends money back to Zimbabwe. So everybody go follow him on Patreon, and then just again go send him some well wishes. Let's get on out of here though. Jeff, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you for all things nerd related?
All things nerd world. I got you. I mean, like, I think the best way is to try and Skype with Don Cheadle's Driveway at LilDicky2.com. Obviously, it's because of the hackers. You can try and find me, Jeff Madel, on Facebook. I believe in you. You can figure out that spelling. Turns out I've had an Insta the entire time. Who knew? It's at Madel Jeff. So hey, find me on there. I'm very excited to find out I've had this for years and never fucking used it. Or you can just oh shit. Okay, you're in Austin this weekend. Fourth and Co., the courtyard right next to it, used to be Cedar Street Courtyard. It's the 2nd year anniversary of Emo Bingo. I'm going to be dressed all emo. I'm going to be Jeff Cab for Cutie. Come show up. I'm going to act like an asswipe, and you can laugh at me.
That's great. Everybody come do this. Yeah. I'm going to need some details because I want to see you act like an asshole. You're just a nice guy. You're just, what is it, Cutie? Death Cab for Cutie. That's what you are.
Jeff Cab for Cutie.
I love it. Producer T, where can people find you? They want to reach out to you. Where can the Nerd Nation reach out to you, man?
Well, they need to reach out to me at Pendependence so they can get these babies.
There it is.
9 Nerd Yard branded Atlanta pens, only $35. So hit me up at Pendependence CO. Descriptions down at the bottom, or message me on Terry F Photos if you want to see what the fuck's going on in Istanbul, because it's gonna be pretty amazing.
It's gonna be dope. Follow him for all things. And in the meantime, while you're on all the social mediums, feel free to follow me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Also on TikTok, we're uploading new stuff on 9 Nerd Yards. Me and 9 are doing that, so we're dropping a whole bunch of old clips. So go ahead and follow us there if that's where you're gonna follow us. Or you can follow me again here. I'm here every Monday and Thursday with the crew. Or you can follow me if you want to hear me talk even more on my podcast, Unfiltered Bachelor. It's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere podcasts are. That's where my show is. Everybody, I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. Kenya, shout outs to Kenya for being the Nerd Nation winner, for Terry to bring her something back from Istanbul. And if you guys missed it this time around, keep listening because Terry be world traveling, and you might be the lucky one next time to win a little something.
We'll do it Monday for our Last of Us listeners.
Oh, yeah. So tune in. Everybody who missed it tonight.
Want a chance to win.
Tune in for Monday.
Live.
Right. Where in the world is producer Derry?
Whoever has a cheap airline ticket.
He's actually not even in Colorado right now. He's a hologram of Terry. We have no idea where he's actually at.
Yeah. We can't even afford rent. We can't afford a hologram. Yes, called it back an episode.
Well, let's get on out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Morning, evening, afternoon. We appreciate you, Nerd Nation. And until the next time, we will see you. Peace.